Right to a channel of light fluid. And here we are with a short video here. This is Blossom in Love. It's written by the team behind NeveN, which we're going to get to again soon. And this was one of the ones for the May Wolf FVN Jam. So we're going to do this one. Also, Labour of Love, I'm going to slot into the schedule at some point. And the Fly in general, I need to read a bit more up. It looks interesting so far. I'm going to check that one out. And maybe one or two others. This is just a little extra video since this will be a short one. And I'll do the others at some point. So there will be some of the May Wolf FVN Jam ones done. I can't do everything. There's like 18 entries and that'll take me a long time to get done. So just a sample of them. And I'll put the link to where you can find all of them in the description. For now, let's get going with this one. With a sigh, I sit down on the bench as I take my head between my paws. I'm an idiot, pure and simple. I knew it was a bad idea and I insisted on doing it anyway. A vibration against my thigh. A message. It's probably him. I slip my paw into my pocket and turn off my phone without looking at it. And another sigh. My eyes wander to the crowd of passers-by as I search for distraction, something to take my mind off the disaster that was this evening. Without any success. I run my paw over my face and stay that way for a moment, regretting the choices that led me here. Etienne, what are you doing here? I raise my head to find myself face to face with a dragon, much larger than me, its face tinged with a slight concern. Oh, hi Matt. I just needed a breather, that's all. When you're supposed to have your date with Basil? Yeah, it's over. Already? And how did it go? Before I have time to answer, he gives me another curious look and sits down next to me. That bad? It's just me being stupid for a change. Don't say that. What happened? I don't know if I really want to talk about it. I know you. You're going to dwell on it for weeks if you don't get it off your chest. So go ahead. I'm listening. I don't even know where to start. You never told me you managed to get a date in the first place. Really? Well, in a way it's thanks to you. I just followed your advice. Oh, thanks again for the Edelweiss. They're her favourite flowers. I'm sure she'll be pleased. I'm glad to hear it. I smile as much as I can at the young falcon in front of me. This is the last customer of the day, and although I enjoy my work very much, I would like to be able to rest a little. Plus I'll need some time to gather all my courage to talk to Basil. After carefully wrapping the Edelweiss and thanking the falcon, I close the account and check the day's profit. Counting simple things has always helped me relax. Seeing piles form and make sense in front of me as I calculate each addition is one of my little pleasures. Natalie and Jade say bye to me before they leave as I'm counting. I wish them a good end of the day and close the door behind them before resuming. I'm now alone. Well, alone with Basil, my boss. The person I'd love to invite this Saturday night, if I can find the courage. No, stop thinking like that. I should do as Matt advised. I have to gather my courage to step forward. It's been almost 7 years now since Alex left. I have the right to be with someone else. I just need to find the guts to do it. Breathe in. Matt has been giving me exercises to focus and make me more assertive. Breathe out. I keep counting the change in every coin I put down on the desk as opposed to strengthen my resolve. Breathe in. And even if he turns down my invitation, it won't change anything. I'll simply be in the same situation. Breathe out. So, there's absolutely no risk, no reason to be afraid. With the last coin carefully returned to the cash register, I write the day's total on a piece of paper before heading to Basil's office. So I walk through the room to the greenhouse. We obviously don't grow all of our flowers at the shop. We still try to have some plantations here. Basil has his office in the back because he wants to see the flower beds every time he goes to work. I'm sure he opened the shop just to have an excuse to be able to enjoy the view. That's one of the things I immediately liked about him. his passion for everything to do with plants, flowers and floral art in general. There's something that shines in his eyes whenever he speaks about it. It makes him irresistible. When I arrive at his door, I knock and his deep voice echoes immediately. "Etienne, is that you? Come in." I don't think twice and push open the door, before smiling shyly at the wolf in front of me. Mr. Basil. "I already told you to leave the mister behind." "Sorry, it's just habit, I guess. I've done the accounts and closed the cash register." "Oh, good. We didn't have to, you know. I could have done it myself." "I know, it's just..." I sigh. The truth is, it was mostly an excuse to talk to him while giving me the time to calm my nerves. But I can't exactly tell him that. I just wanted to help, that's all. Basil runs his paw over his face. Did I say something wrong again? "Sorry, Etienne. It's been a long day. Thanks for doing this." "No problem." I put the papers on his desk and back away, clutching my paws together. It's the right time. I need to find the courage to say it. Breathe in, breathe out. Mr.
Etienne.
Sorry, Basil. I was wondering, it's been a year since you hired me and, well, I was thinking. I'm taking a deep breath. Come on, I can do it. Maybe we could go for a drink on Friday to celebrate, both of us. I can feel the red creeping up my cheeks as I nervously entwine my fingers together. Basil, on the other hand, looks surprised for a brief moment. Then he smiles frankly.
Really? A year already? Well, time flies by. Well, if I'd known, I'd have organised something myself. Of course I want to celebrate. Why on earth would I refuse?
He's interrupted by his phone ringing.
Oh, wait a second.
His expression darkens when he sees the name of the caller. That doesn't stop him from picking up.
Hi, Catherine.
This explains his mood. A phone call from his ex-wife is never really a good sign. Especially since they didn't part on good terms once he confessed whether he also liked men.
No, Catherine, I can't come. I have other... Well, it's not my problem.
He lowers his phone, covering the microphone with his paw.
Sorry, Etienne, but it might take a while. Just send me the information, okay?
No problem. He nods at me and resumes his discussion. I do the same and leave his office. Hey, from what you tell me so far, he seems pretty excited about the idea. It's just that damn phone call that screwed it up, right? That's what I thought too, at least at the time. Anyway, I'm proud of you. You had the guts to do it. That's progress compared to a few months ago. I don't know if it's such a good thing in the end. Hey, whatever the final result, you tried. That's proof that you're starting to recover. Besides, it'd be a shame for someone as nice as you to be left alone. He gives me his best smile and I try to give it back. From the look on his face, something tells me that mine is not so great. So what could you have done to crash the moment? I refuse to believe it's your fault. I just misunderstood what he wanted. I got the wrong idea, that's all. Really? Well, what you told me. I was wrong. I pull on my shirt collar. This was a terrible idea. I should never have invited him like that. I glance into the window behind me, trying to quickly judge my reflection. I'm not sure I've chosen the right clothes. I know it's just a bar night, but maybe I should have picked something a little classier. I don't know. As I debate with my own mind, the shadow seems to grow in the window till it completely overcomes my reflection. I turn around and find myself facing Basil.
Good evening, Etienne.
Mr. Basil, I'm glad to see you came. Hi. I can already feel myself blushing as he smiles at me and puts his big paw on my shoulder to reassure me.
My best employee's asking me to join your little private party. How could I say no?
It takes me a few seconds to understand what he's saying, before I remember. That's right, I'm not just here for what I have to say to him. I told him it was for my hiring anniversary. Oh, shall we go in? It's quiet inside. The Viking has always been one of my favourite places to go out. Though located in the city centre, the bar tries as much as possible to focus on an older clientele and offers a more relaxed atmosphere. This is where people come to chill and chat with friends, not to get drunk. Alcohol was never really my thing anyway. I guide Basil inside before we settled down at what was, for a long time, my regular table. Although I haven't been here in years, sitting in that specific place always makes me feel at home. Wolf looks around for a moment before sitting down in front of me with a big grin.
I've never been here before. I like it. It suits you well.
What do you mean?
Well, it's quiet, it's restful. There's a sense of trustworthiness to it, I would say. A bit like yourself, actually.
Oh, I'm none of those things. It's just, I'm shy and nervous, that's all.
Well, at first, probably. But after a year, I got to know you.
He gives me an amused wink as the waiter comes. Fortunately for me, to interrupt this conversation. I could feel the fire rising in my cheeks again. Gentlemen, I'm listening.
I'll have a Grimbergen.
A creek, please. Despite what I said earlier, maybe a little alcohol in my blood won't hurt. It will calm me down a bit, and I could use some courage too. It takes him only a few moments to return with our drinks, and we both take a sip. The fruity taste of my beer calms my nerves slightly.
Now, I have to be honest with you, I wasn't expecting this. This must be the first time I've been invited to celebrate that kind of anniversary.
He laughs softly while I look away, embarrassed. If I am to be perfectly honest, I chew my words for a moment before taking a deep breath. I just wanted to spend some time with you outside of work. This is the only excuse I could come up with. He then leans in as he hides his muzzle with a paw, murmuring with a smile.
Well, I kind of figured. It's not exactly the most effective excuse.
He bursts out laughing again. I know must now be as red as ever. I raise my glass and hide behind it, taking another sip.
Since we've known each other so long, you didn't need an excuse to invite me, you know. I'd have agreed if you just asked me.
Really?
Etienne, you should know by now that I'm not exactly the kind of boss who refuses to relax with his employees.
It's just that I thought...
Calm down. You're a nice person to have around, so you should have more confidence in yourself. Besides, I like spending time with you.
I know, it's just hard.
Like all things worthwhile. But look, we're having a good time here, aren't we?
He gives me a questioning look and I take a few seconds to ask myself this question. Fortunately, the answer comes easily to me. Yeah, we're having a great time. Sorry if I'm a bit of a mood breaker.
Well, don't apologise for who you are, Etienne. If you don't like it, change it.
He winks at me before raising his glass in my direction. I feel my heart leap in my chest. How can I not love this man? The typical ringing of his phone then echoes in my ears. Basil rolls his eyes before pulling it out of his pocket, with looking Sue's calling before tossing it to the corner of the table.
I can wait a bit.
You can pick up if you want. I don't mind.
Well, that's the thing. I don't want to. I swear Catherine wants to talk to me more often now that we're divorced than when we were married.
Was that her again?
To my great misfortune, yes.
I was wondering, do you ever regret it, for telling her the truth about your preferences? He paused there for a few seconds, scratching his chin thoughtfully.
Not really. I've always preferred to be honest, and as much as I loved her, I discovered a whole side of her when I told her the truth. And trust me, it wasn't pretty. In the end, I'm still convinced I made the right decision.
He smiles at me again, and I can't help but smile back. It's a decision that suits me too, after all. My stomach churns at the thought as I'm reminded why I'm here. I feel my hands interlocking and my fingers forming knots, almost against my will. Come on, Etienne, have some courage. Breathe in, breathe out. Basil, there is something I wanted to tell you.
Oh, well, I'm listening.
He's interrupted again by the ringing of his phone, which he picks up with a grunt.
Can you wait 2 seconds? I'll answer it so she'll leave us alone for the evening. She'll be able to track me down here if I keep ignoring her.
Yeah, no worries. I guess that gives me some time to formulate exactly what I want to say. That's a good thing, I think.
Catherine, what do you need?
It's strange. His voice is different when he talks to her, loses its usual smoothness.
It's a Friday night. I'm allowed to be away from home. Yes, I'm with her. I don't see how that's any of your business. He's a friend, Catherine. An employee of mine, nothing more.
These words strike me with the power of a hurricane. Just an employee, nothing more. All the courage I've gathered so far disappears at once as I sink into my seat. I have to hold myself back from crying, from breaking into laughter. I don't know exactly. Maybe both at the same time. God, I'm pathetic. What the hell was I thinking? I mean, fuck. Just look at him for 2 seconds. How could I have ever imagined a guy like that would want me for even a second? What a joke. What a ridiculous joke, and I'm its punchline. And this time I've no one to blame. I got myself into this situation on my own. I look at my now empty glass in front of me. It's then that I realise I only have one desire left. To leave, get out of here as quickly as possible and be left alone. It takes me a few seconds to realise that Basil finished his call.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. There is silence. Heavy and pleasant. Basil clears his throat as he gets up.
I'm going to the toilet.
Okay. He pauses if he wants to say something. I guess he realises I'm not well. I don't really do much to hide it. He finally chooses to be quiet before he leaves. I then realise this is my opportunity. I don't have to drag this out any longer. I reach into my pockets and throw a €5 note onto the table before standing up. I have no doubt that I'm in for a most unpleasant conversation the next time we meet. I don't care. Right now, I just want to leave. You just left without saying anything? I feel bad enough without you having to rub it in. Oh, Etienne, you'd have at least talked to him. I just abandoned him like that. I know, I just panicked, I guess. I really don't need him to make it worse. However, I can just feel his paw resting on my shoulder. Sorry it didn't end better than this. Thank you.
Excuse me.
I turn around and find myself face to face with a wolf. He's absolutely huge, almost as big as me. That's something that doesn't happen every day. I guess that's the Basil he was talking about.
Etienne, are you alright? You've disappeared.
Mr. Basil, how...
You already told me you like coming here.
He looks at my friend for a brief moment with a worried expression before turning to me.
I don't mean to sound rude, but I'd like to talk to Etienne in private.
Oh, no worries. I have to go anyway. I smile at the wolf while gently squeezing Etienne's shoulder. Text me later, okay? Yeah. Thanks for everything. I just smiled at him before getting up and walking away. After a few feet, I turn around to take one last look at the 2 men I just left. A grin quickly comes to me as I see the wolf's tail wagging, while Etienne smiles with a blush. Something tells me that, finally, things might be working out for him. And that was Blossom in Love. I said it was a short video, and once again I managed to do this in one take. There were no edits in there apart from the title sequence on my channel. It's nice to do that. I don't manage it normally. So what else is going to be going on? Well, I'm taking a break right now from working on Roswell's video for Password. We're doing the edited highlights of Roswell's Part A. That will be out soon. And I also plan to get the second part of Glory Hounds Build 2 out. So that should be this weekend. You'll be seeing that. That brings us up to date on Glory Hounds. And then, yeah, that is almost it for Password. I have one more thing I want to do for that VN. And that will be in a while, but we'll see more of Roswell soon. And of course next month, at some point, which I could tell you if I had my schedule up on the screen, which I don't, we will actually be going back to NeveN. So We're going to be singing a sea shanty and making some decisions about who to go with. And we're going to meet a couple of very interesting guys in that episode. And you'll enjoy that one. But for now, before I leave, as always, thanks to all my donors on Ko-fi and Patreon. And my top donors are Andy Peng, Samuto, Omar, Big Booty Judy, Nova Starbun, Ulpers Need Coffee, Burnt Toast, Kartek, Kubas Visser, Legacy Butcherati, Lark Huskerton, Bastian, Ryan Hall, Tiger Cub, Ida Corval, Anubis Silverwind, Dissonance, Grizz, Spiderling, Kopi, Cindy Dragowolf, Marcus, Evan King, Exak, Aaron Fox, Mohammed Al-Zamal. So special thanks to all of you. And until next time, thanks for watching. Bye for now.